Okay, so welcome back. The show still continues live on Hstv, and this is Healthy Morning, the Friday edition. And now we're moving into the Matters Horizon segment. So, as stated, and also coming in the news, so we know about the train during a test run where it involved in an accident. And finally, we have a press coming in from the Minister of Railways Development, John Peter Amewu. He addresses the accident of the newly imported train from Poland, which occurred during a test run. So quickly, let's move into the press release from the Ministry of Railways and Development. So the Ministry of Railways Development, in conjunction with its agencies, the Ghana Railway Development Authority and the Ghana Railway Company Limited, together with officials and engineers from PESA, the Porsche manufacturer of the diesel multiple unit, wishes to inform the general public of an incident that occurred today during the site acceptance of the new DMU on the Tema-Padan railway line. So approximately at 12:10 p.m. on Thursday, 18th April 2024, while conducting the test, an incident took place around 76 to 100 kilometers. The DMU, upon approaching the curve at 76 to 100 kilometer, encountered a stationary vehicle stationed right across the railway track. Despite the immediate application of the emergency braking system, the train was unable to come to a complete stop before colliding with the vehicle. It is important to note that the vehicle was unnamed, and the location where it was found is not designated as an authorized level crossing. Thankfully, there were no injuries sustained by passengers on the train or by bystanders. However, there was minor damage to the driver's cab section of the train. The incident had been promptly reported to the police, and investigations are currently underway to ascertain the circumstances surrounding the incident. The DMU involved has been moved to the workshop for further assessment and necessary repairs. We assure the public that safety remains our utmost priority, and we are committed to ensuring the continuous safe operation of our railway system. We urge all stakeholders to remain vigilant and adhere to safety protocols when operating or crossing railway track. We provide further updates as the investigation progresses. This was signed by Ministry of Railway Development Ghana to all media houses.
Great. So on that note, let's move to the very first newspaper for today, and it is the Ghanaian Times newspaper, written on the front page of the Ghanaian newspaper for today, the 19th of April 2024. Says election alert, cybersecurity authority engages tech providers to counter misinformation powered by AI. So this story you can read on page 9 on the Ghanaian Times newspaper. Also beneath that story, we have 30% of media outlets collapse due to financial constraints. So this is coming from Minister, as she's saying that Minister Fatima to Abubakar, that she's saying that 30% of media outlets collapse due to financial constraints. Also beside that story, we have 609 die in road crashes in first quarter of 2024. So there's this report that I'd like to read out, and this is still on the Ghanaian Times newspaper. It says, so this is coming from the Director General of the National Road Safety Authority, Mr. David Osafo Adontain. He says at least 609 people died nationwide in road crashes during the first quarter of this year 2024, as against 553 deaths recorded last year within the same period. Similarly, 3,823 others suffered various injuries, as against 3,747 last year within the same period. The accidents were 3,405 within the first quarter this year, as against 3,367 the same period last year. Now, the head of public relations of the National Road Safety Authority, Mrs. Pearl, who disclosed this to the Ghanaian Times in Accra yesterday, said the crashes recorded represented an increase of 1.13%. She said the crashes, which included 573 pedestrian knockdowns, involved 1,978 commercial vehicles and 2,520 private vehicles, were attributed to speeding and fatigue driving. Mrs. Pearl stated that the authority, in partnership with the police and an initiative for global road are intensifying sanctification of drivers and road users. She stated that some drivers were apprehended by various road traffic offences, including speeding and driving under the influence of alcohol. She urged drivers to abide by the road safety regulations to prevent crashes, death and loss of property. So this is coming from the National Road Safety Authority, and this is a very sad one. This is a very sad one, comparing last year to this very year. They are saying that there has been a drastic increase in road crashes just in the first quarter of 2024. So they are urging drivers, please do not drink and drive or speed on the road, because right now we have a lot of faulty traffic lights right there. So if you are speeding and probably there's another road, there's another car coming from another section, you might collide, and at the end of the day it would cause, you know, an accident which can result in loss of life or property, or even the car can be damaged, a car that you bought at an expensive rate, or probably loss of life. You know, you cannot compare a life to, you know, a car or something like that. So please, drivers, let's be very much conscious of that. Great. So I think that's all for the Ghanaian Times newspaper this morning.
Okay, so let's move away from that and go straight into the Chronicle. And right here says, Baumia, I believe in women empowerment. A female running mate in the offing. There's a question coming in again. Down here says, please, Mr. President, to send 2 LGBT plus bill coming in from the Baptist Church. So the Ghana Baptist Convention has urged President Akufo-Addo to approve the Human Rights, Sexual Rights and Family Value Bill to define the country's stance on homosexuality. Although Parliament passed the anti-LGBT plus bill in February 2024, the bill has faced setbacks, with the president citing his inability to sign it due to a legal challenge. So speaking to the media, the president of the Ghana Baptist Convention, Reverend Dr. Charles Ampofo, emphasized the church's opposition to the act. Reverend Ampofo maintained the president Akufo-Addo should sign the bill, as the concept of LGBTQ is unacceptable in the country. The issue of LGBTQ and others is a very crucial thing to us, not because we love it, but because we hate it. We don't want to apply our lives to the Bible, but the Bible teaches us how to live, and we believe that the Bible instructs us and directs us to live. It ordains that it's a male to a female and a female to a male. That's all we know. Anything outside that, for me and for Ghana Baptist Convention, is anti-Bible. So this is coming in from the Baptist Church. They're saying, please, Mr. President, assent to the bill.
All right, so we're moving on to the next newspaper for today, and this is the Daily Dispatch newspaper. Says COP RTD watches claims confirmed, but for the Asantehene, the 2016 elections would have been messy. So this is coming from our former president John Kufuor, as he's saying that if it was for the Asantehene, the 2016 elections would have been messy. So you can read the story on page 12 of the Daily Dispatch newspaper, and also beneath that story we have our win 2024 presidential elections on the ticket of the Alliance for Revolutionary Change. So this is coming from Alan Kojetremantin, as he has been appointed as the flag bearer for the Alliance for Revolutionary Change. So he's saying that on the ticket of the Alliance for Revolutionary Change, he's going to win the 2024 general elections. Yes, so I think this is all for the Daily Dispatch newspaper today.
Okay, so let's move into the Daily Graphic, and right here says a new train crashes. And I think earlier we read to you the press that came from the Ministry of Roads and Highways. And down here it says pineapple has potential, pay attention to crop. Pineapple has potential, pay attention to crop. You can read that story on page 13. And down here again it says 300 million cashews mining dispute, laws of Ghana must apply. So International Arbitration Tribunal rules. So right here I'm going to go deep into that story coming in from the Ghana web. So they are saying that a second, let me get it right. So right here, an International Arbitration Tribunal has ruled that the seat of the International Arbitration Institute by Cashews Mining Company Limited against the Republic of Ghana shall be Ghana and not London, as claimed by Cashews Mining. So the tribunal on February 28, 2024 delivered its decision on the main preliminary issue argued by Ghana's Attorney General Godfred Yeboadami and the lawyers of the Cassius Mining in December 2023 and upheld Ghana's contention that the High Court of Ghana retains supervisory jurisdiction over the multi-millionaire dollar arbitration between Cassius Mining Limited and the government of Ghana. The ruling means the High Court can grant relief regarding the arbitration. Also, any resulting award or judgment debt from the tribunal is subject to the law of Ghana and can be set aside by the High Court under Alternative Dispute Resolution Act. This is the first time since 2023 that an international arbitration tribunal has ruled that the High Court retains jurisdiction in an international arbitration to which the GOG is a party. So in the past, tribunals have determined that courts in the UK and France, Netherlands and Washington exercise such as jurisdiction can enforce procession for the execution of any award by international tribunals. This has been very costly for GOG, with Ghana's assets seized in foreign courts and Ghana hiring foreign lawyers to seek remedies in those foreign courts. So there's the statement coming in. It says 300 million Cassius Mining dispute. Laws of Ghana must apply to this, and international arbitration tribunal rules. Lastly, on the front page of the Daily Graphic, it says Asokwa Industrial Hub of Kumasi. That story can be found on pages 16 and 17 of the Daily Graphic.
Great, so we're moving on to the Inside newspaper. Says Ghana's economic crisis to get worse. Professor Stephen Adair warns Ghanaians. So, in a report cited on City News, says renowned economist Professor Stephen Adair has urged Ghanaians to brace themselves for anticipated economic difficulties in 2025 and beyond. Professor Adair highlighted significant delays in government efforts to restructure debt as indicated of the challenges we have ahead. His remarks were delivered during a media event organized by the Grand Coalition in Accra on Monday, April 15th. Now, during his address, Professor Adair called upon aspiring political leaders to move away from making promises and instead focus on implementing practical strategies to navigate the nation through these times. He emphasized the urgent need for proactive measures to guide Ghana towards a future characterized by sustainable growth and prosperity. So he also urged the government to make sure that they put things in place to curb the economic crisis, or else Ghana is going to face a very drastic economic crisis from 2025 and beyond. So this is coming from a renowned economist, that is Professor Stephen Adair, as is warning Ghanaians to please brace yourself for the worst this coming years. So I think still on the front page of the Inside newspaper, we have why Iran attacked Israel and what could happen next. The story you can read on page 6 and 7 of the Inside newspaper. We also have, besides that, Ghanaians react to viral social media video of Chief Imam accused aides of exploitation. And also we have Amari plans why outdoor 9-year-old baby again, PV to President Akufo-Addo. We also have Save the Nation salute despite media over reportage on environmental and developmental issues. So this is all we have on the front page of the Inside newspaper.
Okay, so away from that, let's move into the new weekend crusading guide. And coming in, it says Ghana Cassius Mining $300 million international duel. It says arbitration to be heard here, not landing. Tribunal preliminary rules. And on top it says Agenza Energy commands major stakeholders for gas pipeline construction. That story too can be found on page 10 of the new Weekend Crusading Guide. Coming on to the other side, it says private varsities risk collapse by August 2024. That's coming in from GTEC, the threaten. Razakojo Poku, he writes. And down here again it says accident rocks newly imported train during test run. And down here again it says more hope for Ghanaians with leaders like Dr. Stephen Amwa constituency are wish stricken. And lastly it says Isacha Conference, Nurturing Innovative Minds and Entrepreneurship.
Alright, so we're moving on to the Daily Graphic newspaper. It says, Try Cassius mining case in Ghana International Tribunal. So this story you can find on page 3 of the Daily Guide newspaper. We also have the Office of the Special Prosecutor files new charges against procurement, if I'm very right, Public Procurement Authority boards. So the Office of the Special Prosecutor files new charges against the Public Procurement Authority boards. We also have Ghana's debt staged under NDC, and this is coming from Dr. Frank Bano. And also beneath that story we have Otumfuo fight for private sector. So the story you can find on page 6 of the Daily Guide newspaper. We also have Adjogiri Zongo chiefs pledge allegiance to Ochenhene. And also we have now Okromo reunite with family. So this is all on the front page of the Daily Guide newspaper today.
Okay, so I think we've discussed a lot today. Earlier in the intro, we gave you a highlight of the stories that are trending on our front pages. We've posted them in there. Go there. We need your let me say contributions and what you think about these stories, because it's very important we hear your voice and your view. Political leaders are they're setting rules for us each and every time, but is it aligning to what we also want to see in the camp future? And also in December, move to the polls to vote. We always say show us its name Munato about. So let's go for a 10. When we come back, we move into the world of sport.
So for your call, ladies and gentlemen, this is your Pastor Donzi, and I bring you greetings from the Church of Christ.
So one to then, our friend Pastor Donzi, our hammer one now, when you
This is the day, a new day the Lord has made. Let us be glad and believe in Him.
Sister Kwede, and you know what for 1 year day. Sister Goddess, our hanky.
Lord, we thank you for goodness, we thank you for mercies and for giving us beyond what we deserve. We thank you for goodness, we thank you for mercies and for giving us beyond what we deserve.
Father, as
we stand before you, strengthen our heart and light our path like a beam.
Ayo, as I understand why Baba singing my for 1 million.